No? Okay.
Let's get into this mess, honey, because it was sure enough messy. It was very, very messy, loves. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Quan. You're first. Yes, you're first, honey. You are first. Hello. I'm gonna try to say your name. Demonta? Demonte? Did I say it right? If I call you Amon, if I call you mine, you know what I'm saying? Just tell me what I can call you so I don't mess your name up. Can I call you? I don't want to call you D because I call somebody else D. So spell it out in the comments, girl. A boy? Is it a boy name? Child, I don't know. Please forgive me if I'm messing up your name. I messed up my husband's name when I'm oh baby. Anyway, I'm sorry. I said it right. Monta. Okay, cool. Did I get it right? Yes, I got it right. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. Hello, Marlon. Hey, Jay. Okay, I said it right. Good, good, good. Very good. Very good. All right. Hello, Notorious Mercedes. Hi. And hello, Chef. How you doing? I did see Alexa. For those of you who don't see a post for her on my page, it is coming actually right now as I'm sitting here. As I'm sitting right here, I'm getting ready to post it. Alexa was something was dripping from that bitch mouth. I don't know what was going on. Maybe whatever was possessing her was coming out, but the hole was leaking. I didn't like it. It creeped me out. I don't like it. Anyway, did y'all enjoy SmackDown? It was quite exhausting. Okay. I mean Raw. Sorry, y'all. I misspoke. Did y'all enjoy it? Because it was quite exhausting, and I was just like, okay, we need. I just let it play in the background. I didn't even record all of it because it was unnecessary. But we gonna talk about some stuff that did happen that's necessary to talk about. Everything else we gonna put it by the wayside. Okay, we're not gonna even much worry about it. I'm gonna go live on my Instagram right quick to tell everybody that I'm on YouTube. So y'all just bear with me, like I did yesterday. Okay, so hold on. We getting there, people. We are getting there. Hello, hello, Aaliyah. How are you? Quan said I didn't watch all of it. Oh, okay. Don't worry, you didn't miss much. Raw was cute or whatever. Yeah, yeah, Monty, it was cute. Okay. Oscar Green missed probably. I think Oscar probably gonna turn. I think they've officially put Oscar and Charlotte against each other, but we gonna get there. Give me a second. You said she was leaking. She was leaking, child. Last time Oscar defended at a pay-per-view. Child, I don't know. All right, listen. Those of you who are on my Instagram, y'all know yesterday I told y'all I was gonna go live on my YouTube. And currently, right now, I am live on my YouTube. So just go click the link in the bio and y'all can be over here with me and the other people on YouTube because it's very hard for me to stream on my Instagram right now and I don't feel like showing my face. And a lot of times when I don't show my face, y'all don't show up. So come on over to YouTube, baby. Just come on over to the YouTubies. Come on over to the YouTubies. And we can go ahead and talk about Raw. It wasn't a lot going on with Raw. You know, it wasn't much to really jam about. But y'all can come on over here to YouTube and we can talk about Raw over here and get some stuff going. So I'm gonna go. But come on over here, baby. Come on over to the tubes. Come on over. Hold on, guys. All right, so let's get started with what happened with Monday Night Raw today. So we're gonna talk about Monday Night Raw, and then I got something special to talk to you guys about in regards to my podcast. Okay, I want to talk about it with you guys because you guys are my family, and I love you guys. All right, just bear with me for a hot second. We're gonna get some of this stuff up here so I can put the pictures up because I forgot to do that. Y'all see how professional I am. Okay. I forgot, honey. It was I was in here laughing and joking with Gerald. And I just and I was listening to music. I ain't gonna lie, I was listening to music. So I totally forgot. But for the most part, Monday Night Raw was okay. It was a solid show. It did set up certain things for all of us to start looking into more specifically. We all could obviously see that there are feuds being started or at least being pushed up to the top. The feuds being number one, you're going to see Asuka versus Charlotte, obviously. That is happening. You're also going to have feuds that are pushed up to the top with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. A feud they could have had started at Royal Rumble, if you ask me. They wasted a good opportunity to have that feud going at Royal Rumble and to push it into Monday Night Raw. But let's start off with what happened on Monday Night Raw, more specifically how it opened and how it closed. Monday Night Raw started off with the Rated R Superstar as he was the winner of the 2021 Royal Rumble. Okay, a lot of people had mixed emotions about him winning that Royal Rumble. And honestly, I didn't have any issues with it. Now, somebody posed the question, and I will give you guys who posed that question. If you haven't subscribed to Jobber Tears, I definitely think you should. You should go over there and listen to their podcast as well. They have very great conversation, and it's something a lot of you will get a lot of information with, and you also can hear a lot of dialogue from different people outside of just me and my usual folk. Okay, so Jobber Tears posts a coffee talk on their Instagram regularly, and he talked about, it was a very quick segment, and he basically was very happy for Bianca. Of course, it's for the culture. She's the first Black Women's Royal Rumble winner and the only Black Women's Royal Rumble winner out of the short time that they've had the Women's Royal Rumble. He praised Bianca. He loved it. He loved the Women's Royal Rumble, and he thought the overall pay-per-view was a solid pay-per-view. It wasn't great, but it was solid, and I have to 100% agree. He also went in and said that the winner for the men was Edge, and he didn't agree with it. He felt that it was unfair for you to give it to a guy like Edge when he didn't need it. He was not in necessary need of being the winner of the Royal Rumble. He's a legend in his own right, and he most definitely has already built his legacy. That should have went to someone else. And that was a sentiment that a lot of you had in the comments yesterday. He said the thing that he compared it to was, he said, if it was Brock Lesnar or Goldberg, more specifically, who had entered into the Rumble and won the Rumble, you would be upset. Here's my thing. I think a lot of people would be pissed off if Goldberg won, because Goldberg has had multiple opportunities at both titles within the last 2 to 3 years. Well, in the last 6 years, Goldberg has been champion at least twice and held that Universal Championship at least twice. So Goldberg isn't suffering for anything. He isn't missing anything. In regards to Edge, Edge hasn't been in the WWE in over 9+ years, 11 years. He hasn't wrestled in so long. It's very, very disheartening that he hadn't had the opportunity to continue on in his career. He had to give up the title and be done with it. You know what I'm saying? So there is a difference between Edge and Goldberg and possibly Brock Lesnar and anybody else who's from the old guard being champion and possibly getting opportunities at championships. You know what I'm saying? But I do understand his plight. My next question is this. If the issue was that Edge won the Royal Rumble, and I pose this question to all of you because all of you are ample mind and you guys can answer that question for me. The question I have is, who else would you put in his place? And you can't say Daniel Bryan, because to me, Daniel Bryan doesn't need the title either. Daniel Bryan is already a former champion, multiple time champion, former tag team champion. He is not in dire need of the championship either. So, or a opportunity at the championship. So, who would you have put in his place? Who would you have replaced Edge with in terms of winning the Royal Rumble? I'm posing that question to y'all while I read y'all comments. So, Demonte says, I'm gonna say your name, I'm trying to say it right, baby. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna call you Smith because I don't think I'm gonna say it right. So, um, Smith, I like the match with Naomi. That was great. I was so proud of Lana. I'm gonna get to all the matches in just a second. I just wanted to cover this topic because it was fresh on my mind, and it was something that we discussed last week. So last night, and I really, 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 really wanted to talk about it and make sure I got it out there. So I'm gonna get to Lana and Naomi in a second. We're getting the ravishing glow back. It was interesting. It was 75 out of 100. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's 3/4 of a grade. Okay. I'm so glad. Me too. Some of these are responses to what I was saying. So just hold on a second. I'm going through the comments, folks. All right. First African American woman to win a Royal Rumble. Yes, she is the only one. I agree with what he was saying. And Edge was going to WrestleMania regardless of the Royal Rumble. Do you think so? Huh. I'm not mad he won. I honestly don't know who. You said it right. Okay, I said it right, DeMonte. Okay, cool. I'm fine with Edge. He was the only guy to make sense. Okay, I would have pushed Keith Lee if he was there. Like, I wanted Keith to come in. The only reason I didn't bring Keith in is because of the COVID situation, but I'm sure y'all already know that. Big E, Keith, if he wasn't in quarantine, Sheamus maybe. Keith Lee was my pick, but he probably has the virus. I wouldn't say he has the virus. I think they just protected the superstars and Keith, quarantining him to make sure he didn't have the virus. They saying Bianca cheated to win the Rumble. Houseway. No, sir. So I just wanted to know. I posed the question. If you're coming in late, please answer this question for me in the comment section, and I will put the answers up. But for the most part, everybody had some answers, and then others were just like, I don't know who I would have picked. My question is to those who are watching this in the replay, when you come in and when you actually are watching this from the beginning to this part, let me know in the comment section who you would have chosen as a replacement for Edge winning the Men's Royal Rumble. If you don't know who you would have chosen, then I would suggest that you accept who actually won the Rumble and be okay with it. If you can't be okay with who won the Rumble, then I don't know what to tell you. If you don't have any ideas or suggestions for winning who should win the Royal Rumble as the Men's Royal Rumble, then to me, you don't have any room to speak on the matter. You can't say, well, he shouldn't have won, and not have a rebuttal in terms of who should have won in his place. All right, so we're gonna move on. Let me get some more of these comments in here. Daniel Bryan, your suggestion was Daniel Bryan. I personally don't think Daniel Bryan needs to win the Rumble either. If we're going by the standards that was set by Jobber Tears and what he said in terms of Edge, Daniel Bryan fits in the category with Edge. Outside of the legendary status, well, maybe. In a short time Daniel Bryan has his career, he has done some legendary things. The Yes movement was a monumental movement for guys of his size and stature outside of Rey Mysterio, giving him the leeway to do that early on in his career. I'm just saying Daniel Bryan's already reached the status and he didn't need to win the Rumble either. So if we're going to put Edge in that category, then Daniel Bryan would go there as well. That's just my opinion. But if that's who you would choose, I'm not going to argue with that. I didn't know that. That's news to me. I didn't know that people were saying Bianca cheated either. Honestly, I don't know how you can cheat in the Rumble other than to have help like Carmella and AJ Styles did. That's the only way you could really cheat. Who do you think had the best gear and the worst gear of the Women's Royal Rumble? Honestly, my favorite gear was Sasha's, and she wasn't even in the Rumble. Sasha's gear was my favorite gear, and she was not in the Rumble. I truly love Sasha's gear. I thought her gear was so dope. The worst gear, I don't really care too much for Nia Jax's gear to begin with, but it was okay. I would have to say the worst gear that was in the Rumble was probably Jillian's. Jillian's gear was a little bit, hers and Bayley's. Like theirs wasn't great, but just to give Jillian some leeway, she did have a baby, so Jillian was still trying to get rid of some of that baby weight. So for that alone, she looked great out in that. They said, there y'all go. She won. Go. She won. Be happy. Damn. Child, it's always gonna be somebody saying something. It's really what you answer to and what you care about. You know what I'm saying? Some people on Twitter tried to say that Bianca's feet hit the floor when they didn't. Okay. Apples to oranges, period. Daniel Bryan, Sheamus, or Cesaro. Personally, I mean, it's possible. Did Sheamus need to win the Royal Rumble? He might have. It might have given him some momentum in his career. Definitely would have given Cesaro a boost. I mean, Cesaro would be okay, but my thing is, are you gonna watch a Royal Rumble match between Cesaro and a possible Drew McIntyre or Roman Reigns? Because Roman's going to WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying Drew isn't gonna go. I'm not saying that at all. But the question is, are you gonna watch a feud between Roman and Drew McIntyre? That is the big overall question. Is that feud gonna be worth WrestleMania? Is it gonna be WrestleMania caliber? Let me get some more of these comments in here. They always trying to steal success of black people and tried it. Bianca won fair and square, I guess you meant. Period. Shinsuke. Shinsuke won the Rumble already. Shinsuke won when he first got there on the main roster, right? And went up against AJ Styles. Yeah, he right. Ooh, Cesaro needs a push. Maybe he should have won. I'm happy with Edge winning though. A lot of people picked Cesaro. Sasha Gear was cute. I was like, oh, you go with the Louis Vuitton. I didn't notice it was Louis until I looked really close. Worst was Natty, in my opinion. Natty's gear was off-putting because I guess we're so used to seeing her in certain colors. Her gear was off-putting. If you were in the Women's Royal Rumble, what would be your entry number? Who would you eliminate to win, and who would you face? That is a very extensive question, so I'm gonna have to hold that off to the end. Right, he won. Yes, Shinsuke won in 2018. Okay, so let's move on to the rest of what happened in Raw. So we already covered Edge being the guy to open up the show. Well, actually, Drew McIntyre opened up the show. Edge came out there to talk to Drew, and really, Edge was trying to get Drew to wake up. Edge was very much like, "What is wrong with you? You're a champion and I wouldn't be acting like this." And Drew McIntyre is like, "Look, I'm not the type of champion that you would be. You're the open ultimate opportunist. That's not my gig. That's not the way I roll." And I can respect that. You feel what I'm saying? But Edge was trying to tell him, listen, you got a target on your back. You got to protect yourself at all times. And he was not listening to the sounding board. And that led to Sheamus taking his head clean off. When I say Sheamus just waited, Sheamus came out there, was trying to talk big shit, like he was really trying to be, in Drew McIntyre's corner, but he was out there to basically tear down Drew and let Drew know that this was not no friendship shit. That I'm coming for your title and I don't want to be your friend. I'm not no second rate best friend. I am a future champion and I'm taking that title from you. That was his biggest goal, was to make sure that Drew was aware of that. So Sheamus attacked Drew. Drew was completely stunned. At least he, in kayfabe world, he was 100% stunned by it. And of course, it led to Drew. He looked very heartbroken afterwards. They had an interview with Drew, but they had an interview with Sheamus, and Sheamus made it clear. He was like, I have been pinned as Drew McIntyre's friend. I'm pigeonholed as a friend of Drew McIntyre. I'm nothing else. But I can tell you right now, me and Drew are not friends, and I'm going to make sure he understands that I'm coming for his title. Now, I remember a few months back, Keith Lee was trying to tell niggas that Sheamus was trying to steal his shit, but nobody was listening. You know what I'm saying? Keith Lee told you, everybody told you. You feel me? But you wasn't listening. You wasn't trying to hear nothing that he had to say. You know what I'm saying? I was so happy when I saw Victoria. We all know what was about to happen, right? He was warning him, you're the champion. Everyone wants your head when you're the champ. He tried to tell him this nice, let's compliment each other type of champion does not work because everybody's going to be coming at your shit. So he walked away and Sheamus Bro kicked the champion. It was very, very disheartening for Drew because he looked like he was hurt. You know what I'm saying? Moving on to the next, we had hold on a second. All right. Anyway, Bobby Lashley went up against Matt Riddle today. For whatever reason, Bobby Lashley lost his shit in this particular match. This match was not, it didn't go the way it should have went. In my mind, Bobby could have won clean if that was the case. But he ended up getting disqualified in the match. And then on top of that, he just was like taking Riddle out. Like he was going after Riddle even after he got disqualified. Like Riddle had, insulted his children and his wife or something. I was like, damn, what did he do? Like, I was like, did he fuck your mama? Like, what did he do? What did the man do? Like, I couldn't understand why he was so mad. MVP trying to get him to calm down and he not listening to him. He just lost his total, just lost it. Then after it was over, you see this sinister smile on MVP's face. And I'm just like, you have no more control over the people that's in your crew. And this is a telltale sign that things are starting to unravel between MVP and all of the boys that are in the Hurt Business. Okay, Sheamus about to get it. Everybody wants to shine in WWE. Oh shit, Bobby. I can't stand Bobby. Well, how do you feel about Miko Satomaro? I think that's how you say his name. Say her name, fighting for the NXT UK Championship. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought she was coming to the States for NXT, so I didn't even know that was happening. I didn't like it. I like Bobby, but he went off. He went crazy. Like, what the fuck? Like, yes, I don't understand what was happening. I was very, very confused with what was going on with Bobby. Bobby needed to drop that U.S. title. I 100% agree. So this match was ended on a disqualification, and technically Matt Riddle won the match due to DQ. But because Bobby could not control his emotions, and y'all know titles don't change hands via a DQ or a count out, they ended up letting Bobby Lashley keep his title. One can only imagine that at Elimination Chamber, they will have a match between Riddle and Lashley, and it's going to be a definitive winner decided for this match. Now, we got a couple things going when it came to this show. We did have a match between the Hurt Business and Lucha House Party, and I'm going to be honest, I like Lucha House Party. I think Lucha House Party is very underrated, but of course, in this particular match, there was some sloppy pieces that I didn't care for. It was a bit botchy, and on top of that, I felt as though if they were going to let them defend the titles tonight, then they should have had them. I mean, I'm sorry, but I think they should have dropped them. I also think Lashley should have dropped his. This match was very impromptu. There wasn't no lead up to this match, so it was just a match on the show. And we also got, what else did we get? We got Charlotte and Asuka in a triple threat match with Mandy and Dana, and we had Naomi and Lana in a tag team match for the number one contenders to go up against Nia and Shayna at I don't know, I guess at Elimination Chamber or whenever they decide to go up against them. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do that. Hello, Kenny. How are you? Hi, Kenny. She said, hello, otters. Hi, Kenny. So I'm not sure as to how they're going to do all of this, but it was very interesting. So in this particular match, which I thought was so telling, Charlotte did say in the beginning that she apologized to Asuka for having her personal business eke into theirs, because it was something that solely involved Charlotte that cost them the belt. Now, moving into what happened again during the match, for the most part, the match was pretty good. Charlotte was keep making it a point to bring Naomi into the match, which I thought was very pertinent. If you don't believe me, go back on Hulu if you have Hulu Live. When you have it, when it goes up on the network or goes up on Hulu to watch fully, go back and watch the match, because you'll see that she kept pulling her into the match. She kept telling Lana to go tag her, or, baiting Naomi to come in because she wants the match with Naomi. We all want the match with Naomi. We all want to see that, okay? Anywho's, they had a good match. It was nice. They had good transition, and Lana did very, very well. That woman has improved. She's focused, and she seems to be ready. And that is the type of person that I can get behind. I can support you when you try. But if you just there to look pretty and to do pretty shit, I ain't with you. I'm gonna bust your ass every time. But anyway, Lana did well, and I can commend her for improvement. She did great. She looked good in the ring. Everybody didn't have to dumb down their shit to match her. She was in there. She took them hits in stride, and she did everything she could to compete. And Naomi was her partner. She's obviously the strongest of the two. So they worked that out, and it looked great. They looked good, and I can only imagine what they could do up against Nia and Shayna. And if they rectify this correctly, which I think they're going to do, Lana and Naomi are going to be your new tag team champions. And I can only imagine, I'd be so happy for Naomi, number one. And number two, Lana will finally get what she deserved, which was those tag championships to begin with. Now, in this match, in the middle of this match, Charlotte was in the ring, and her father's music hits once again. And here come Lacey coming out there with a damn skirt on with all the Barbie dolls they make in the world on it, child. I said, what the hell is this shit? What? Whose grandma did you, girl? She wear the same tight ass shoes and the same tight girl. I'm so tired of Lacey Evans. She for the streets, like I said. I don't give a damn what none of y'all say about it. The whole for the streets, period. I'm not mixing or biting no words. If you don't like it, come fight me. She for the streets, period. Anyway, Charlotte didn't even stay in the match. Miss Charlotte just left. She was like, you know what? Fuck this. She tagged in Asuka and walked her ass to the back. Asuka took the pin. She ate the pin. So now one can only imagine that naturally it's going to be Asuka versus Charlotte, and they're going to compete. I know that this is selfish, but I want Asuka to get that win over Charlotte. Asuka deserves to beat Charlotte. Then she can drop the title to Charlotte at the next pay-per-view if that's what they want to do. But let her win this W. Let me get into some of y'all questions or your comments. Bobby versus Rey Mysterio, I'll pass. Right, they don't break up. God, Daddy can't control his God kids. I'm over it. How all the others do it. I'm still steaming mad about this dude Bobby wearing the ascot a couple weeks ago. He has no neck. Ooh, y'all are terrible. Me and Bobby Brown beat the brakes off that. Got me wondering, do they beat or is Bobby going through something? I don't know, baby. I don't know. He not doing nothing with it. No, but they not booking him for nothing. Bobby should drop it to Matt Riddle or Damian Priest or Jinder Mahal. Why do you keep bringing up Jinder Mahal? Jinder Mahal is in NXT India. That's where he gonna be at. He not gonna be on the show right now. At least for right now, he's not gonna be there. Team God Brothers versus Lucha House Party. Hi, Morvich. Hello. That was a good team match, Team Glow. I like Nia, but it's time for her to lose those titles, in my opinion. They should have never got them back, quite honestly. Hi, Tirza. They should have never got them back. They should have never got them back. Are they doing Superstar Shakeup after Mania? Why? Why would they do that? They have a draft every year. I don't think they're going to do a Superstar Shakeup. I'm sorry, but Bobby Lashley reminds me of Milk Dugs. I have to agree. I think they should have 3 women's teams from Raw and 3 from SD. For what? I miss Alexa and Cross's match, and I miss Edge and Randy's match. So how was it? Okay, I'm going to get to Alexa's match in a minute. Give me 1 second. Let me go through these comments, and then I'll let you know what happened. I didn't really care for Alexa and Nikki's match. I just didn't. It's no shade. Lana's going to be champ one day. I don't know about that. Hi, Tirza. Screets. She was for the screets. Her gear is so old school. Honestly, the clothes that she wear outside of the ring, I don't technically consider that to be gear. I don't mind her in-ring gear. Actually, I think it's different. What I have a problem with is because she claims she's a Southern Belle, she dressed like she even the girls from the 1950s didn't dress like that. They had style. She don't. Okay, if you're gonna do that, then maybe you should move up a couple years to the 60s and 70s. Be a little Jackie Onassis with it. Be a little Jackie O. Get you a little Jackie Kennedy up in your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Go that route. And you can still have the pencil skirts and all that good stuff. But mama, these old ass grandma shoes you keep wearing and these hats, they not hitting. She for the streets. And that's how I left it. I just got done watching Raw Talk. Had to see my girl Naomi, and the New Day was on, and they are go. Xavier Challenge Reckoning, aka me and Yim next week. What? Oh my God. Hi, Sasha. Speaking of Raw Talk, Lacey was on with Ric Flair, and Rick is talking about getting his self-respect back and how he's teaching and mentoring Lacey to be a top star by messing with your daughter. Okay. Bobby likes look like a hairless coconut. Kenny, I'm over you. I am over you, Kenny. Somebody, grandma. Yes. Becky called her out saying she wears grandma clothes. Well, she does. I have a feeling Shayna turning soon. Lacey's heads are always one reject away from church. Not the church heads. I'm ready to see Becky Lynch back. I think Becky is just fine living her best life with her daughter, and she'll come back when she's ready. I don't think she's gonna stay away too long, but she'll come back when she's ready. Yeah, Lacey's clothes is fucked up, but where she always loses me at is them janky ass red lip. I can't take it. And you know what? I know that this is her aesthetic, but sometimes you gotta switch up the game. Like even Carmella switch up the game. But Carmella lips a little too big for her to wear red lipstick sometimes. Either that or hers bleeds really bad. It's bad. Ain't Lacey Evans married? Yes, Lacey Evans is married. She has a husband. Anywho, so we get to the rest of the show, and Randy Orton challenges Edge at the end of the night, and you had a match with Bliss and Cross. Bliss and Cross had their match, and it was psychological warfare on Cross. She was playing the match pretty much from the beginning. They did it. It was fine. And then after things progressed in the match, the Alexa Bliss flipped again to her normal self, scared the shit out of Cross. And then she flipped back to Crazy Bliss. And then she was still able to take out Cross, honestly. In the beginning, Cross was chastising her and was like, "You want to fight? Let's go. I'm sick of the games." And they had it was an okay match, but to me, it wasn't something that I had to see. Now, towards the end of Alexa Bliss's win, she was walking up the ramp and Randy Orton came down and she stared him down. And she went to the back. Randy came out, Edge came out. They had their bout. Edge was beat up. Edge was in the Royal Rumble for an hour yesterday. And then he was limping out there when he came out there earlier in the night. And for him to come out there and wrestle for the last few minutes of Raw was too much, in my opinion, for him. And he got slammed on the table. He took a lot of damage, not to mention last night, he took a hell of a lot of damage. And I was just like, this is too much for me. This is way too much. So as Edge fought, he ended up being able to get the drop on Randy, but it was because of Bliss that he got the drop on him. Bliss came out there and was sitting on the ring post, and she was bleeding from the mouth. I don't know what it was. It was something black coming out her mouth. And I was like, bitch, what the fuck is that? I was like, whatever is possessing her is coming out her mouth right now. It just was oozing out. I was like, oh, Jesus. It was gross. It was so gross. Hi, Janae. How are you? I was like, God damn, it was creepy. So that's how it went off. Randy Orton took a hard spear at the end, and Edge got the pin. He was so damn gassed that he couldn't even hold Randy Orton's leg up to pin him. It was Edge need to go lay down in a vat of ice immediately. when this match is over, and I mean, don't get out. Like, don't get up, don't do nothing, don't go nowhere until Friday Night SmackDown, because he is going to be there. Because he, just like he went to Drew, he's most definitely going to confront Roman. And this confrontation is going to be a bit more intense because Roman is obviously the guy. You know what I'm saying? And he's not going to be like Drew, where he's real nice about it. He's gonna go at, Roman's at Edge's neck. It's gonna be complete fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be interesting to see. Plus, we'll get to see the Women's Royal Rumble winner, Miss Bianca Belair. So Bianca Belair she is your Women's Royal Rumble winner, and she has to make her decision of who she's gonna compete against at WrestleMania. But I have a feeling that she is gonna pick Sasha Banks to go up against at WrestleMania. So we shall see who she chooses. I'm very curious and excited. So what Alexa do in this match? Like I said, she didn't really do much. She pretty much wrestled, and it is what it is. Lacey ain't winning match in forever. Sheamus had me all the way fucked up. How you gonna turn on your best friend, then leave like a bitch? Get the fuck out of here, child. It's a mess. It's a whole lot, as my boy Zoe would say. Is her Peyton done? Are you saying her and Peyton over as a team? I would imagine so. That ending with Bliss' little sister Abigail, that with that DDT, I was like, okay. Hi, Trevon, how are you? But it was only a matter of time before Sheamus was going to turn on Drew. They had been telling Sheamus for months that it was going to happen. So they had been telling Drew for months that it was going to happen. So I'm not surprised that he turned on him. I'm truly not. Janae's in the building. He gonna end up be all broke up before he hit WrestleMania. No, I don't mean it like that. I mean, like, Edge just went through a very grueling match at WrestleMania. So for him to then turn around and wrestle like 10, 15 minutes on Monday Night Raw the next night, and you're not 100%, that was a lot for him. And him not wrestling, every week like the other guys do, that's a lot. That's a lot on you. I don't care who you are. And even if you're a great wrestler like Edge is, you still are gassed. You can clearly tell that he was gassed. I'm good, half dead, but good. People down in GA be like, wear a mask properly. I don't know her, girl. I told you, you're not gonna get no mask wearers down there because they ignorant. You feel like Charlotte Flair is a hero face? She might be a tweener, so I'm not quite sure what Charlotte is. I think Charlotte was just fed up and frustrated. At this point, I don't think I would have done anything different from what she did, other than I wouldn't have left Asuka hanging like that. I wouldn't have done that. I would have stayed out there. I wouldn't have gave a shit about Lacey Evans and my father being out there. And if I was her, I would learn to ignore them. Unless they come in and interfere in the damn match, ain't no point in me acknowledging you coming out there. If you mentoring Lacey, good for you, bitch. She need the mentor, and I don't need you. Khadijah don't need you. Okay? Her ass definitely need mentoring. Because the bitch go out there, her matches are sloppy. She's sloppy. So she definitely needs to be mentored. But damn it, I don't need you. Okay, I'm finna beat your record in a couple months. So I don't need you to do shit for me. Get at home and cater it, y'all. Just wanted to pop in and say, hey, hope y'all have a good night. Okay, Janae, get some rest. Fixing her hair properly. Bianca. Hold on a second. Edge is in great shape. Great, actually. In good shape, great, actually. But he hasn't wrestled in 6 months. Was retired for 9 years before that. He's older. He needs to get his stamina up because endurance is everything. Exactly. He is so. He was just. That's a lot. That's a lot. He took a lot of just. It was like really. It reminded me a lot of what happened with Balor and at Money in the Bank a few years back. Balor took hella beatings. Hella beatings. You know what I'm saying? Like, he took beatings. It Edge took a beating last night and was in the Rumble match for over an hour. He looked winded. I don't think it was a smart move for him to wrestle. It was smart for him to wrestle either. I don't think it was. I think he should have just stayed in the back, and then he could have had a match with Randy Orton another day. Billy Kay need to be put with Chelsea Green when she come back because she cleared. I mean, okay, if that's what you want to do, I don't really care what they do. I like Billy Kay um, as she is. I don't have a problem with that. I will forever stand a heel Charlotte. Of course you do. Yes, for the living single reference. She don't need Ric Flair. She never really did, to be honest with you. Edge was in that Rumble for a long time. He didn't turn around. You got to wrestle on Raw. That's a lot. It was a lot. And I just felt like Edge most definitely, he just was so gassed. I don't know no other way to say it. He just was. He was extremely gassed. And you could tell. So that was Monday Night Raw. That was pretty much the crux of it. As I mentioned before, your Royal Rumble winners are Edge for the men. And I mentioned this in the previous in the beginning of the live, but I'm going to mention it again while I try to upload these tiers so I can talk to you guys about what Down for the Count is doing so we can have something to talk about. And of course, I wanted to ask this question. A lot of people have some issues with Edge being the winner of the men's Royal Rumble. So my question to you and everybody who came in later, and my question to everybody who's watching this in the replay is, again, who would you have take his place? If Edge was not the right guy, because he's a vet and he's a legend and all this other stuff, and you wouldn't have done it if it was Goldberg and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. But my question is, who would be his replacement? Who would you put in his place instead of Edge? Who would it be? I'm all the way here for Naomi and Lana potentially becoming a tag team champion. I think they will be tag team champions. I see no other reason why they wouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Cesaro or Big E. I heard Big E and Cesaro earlier. Um, and we have, so that was the question I asked. And of course, Bianca Belair is your women's Royal Rumble winner. And it's so fitting because it is Black History Month, and Bianca is of African American descent, and she is your first African American women's Royal Rumble winner, and the only, as of right now, African American women's Royal Rumble winner. So it means a lot when you work hard and you finally get to the pinnacle and you're given the shot to be able to be the girl. That means a lot, and it means a lot to little girls around the world and around the globe who are watching the WWE. One thing about the WWE that you cannot say is that they aren't trying to diversify and be more inclusive when it comes to the women and the men. You have to respect what they are trying to do. They ain't just talking about it, they being about it. And I ain't trying to dig at nobody. I'm just telling you the facts. I'm just giving you the truth. WWE is showing you that they are trying. And on that note alone, I can give mad respect and mad props to WWE because they are trying. I had no problem with Edge winning. I didn't either, but I posed the question because it was a topic of conversation. And to keep it all the way real, they owe Naomi a hell of a lot. So her becoming a tag team champion or a champion, period, is long overdue. I have to agree. I know some people are upset about Bianca winning, but I'm just like, shove it, bitch. She won, period. It is my dog. Bianca won. It is what it is. Who did you think was gonna win, bitch? Rhea Ripley was not coming in and taking that from the girls that's already here. I'm sorry. Baby, can you open that window, please? It's a little warm in here. Keith Lee or Adam Cole? Adam Cole, really? Isn't she the second African American to win? The Rock is the first. I wasn't speaking in terms of her being the African American. I was speaking African American female. She's the only African American female to win a Royal Rumble. Everybody else has been white. So there you go. Or Asuka. They was Japanese or white because Asuka won the first one. All right. So women's. Okay, you ain't trying to dig at anyone, but I am. Yo, AEW, you seeing this? Take notes. Ooh, I didn't say that shit. I'm not trying to dig at nobody. I was rooting for Bailey, Bianca, and or Naomi. So either one I'd be thrilled with. I would have been fine with Bailey winning because I just would have, it would just made sure I was right. But I was very, very happy that Bianca won. And I was so happy for her, and more specifically the emotion she showed at winning. That tugged at my heartstrings. So in B Squad said he wanted Randy to win. I'm sorry, but to me, I couldn't deal with Randy winning. So if you don't know, I'm a part of a podcast, and the Down for the Count podcast has its own Twitter, has its own Instagram. We got it all. Excuse me. We post our podcast weekly. Oh my God. That was a horse sneeze, y'all. We post our podcast weekly and we talk about everything that has to do with wrestling, from the hot topics to the shows to the pay-per-views. We do it all. So make sure you follow us on our Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google. You can follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. It's all in the banner down below. But more specifically, we were talking about the tiers this week. Now, if you don't know, Ryan Satin created tiers, and he basically was talking about how there was a Reddit discussion a while back that spoke about tiers, and the Reddit used to update via how each superstar did on a monthly to month or pay-per-view to pay-per-view, show to show basis. So as the year winded down, they would change how the tier looked depending on if the superstar fell out of interest or if they got a big push and all that good stuff. So we sat and watched and looked at Ryan Satin's tiers, and we said, I think we're going to do our own. So before I even post this to our social media, I'm going to let you guys get a peek at our tiers, okay? I'm probably going to get in trouble by Alexis and Nicole and them, but I wanted y'all to see it. All right. Hold on a second. Thank you, Kitty, for saying bless you. Yeah, she won. I screamed so loud my dog started barking, and her promo afterwards made me tear up. Bless you. Thank you. Do y'all have a gear set watch segment? We actually do, but we stopped doing it for whatever reason. And I was doing it for the most part, but we stopped doing the gear segment because we started trying to be a little bit more serious. I think we're gonna bring it back this year. What made Bianca's win so amazing and even more special is that Big E tweeted that she got such a huge pop from everyone in the back when she won. So for her to have the respect and support of everyone in the back is amazing. Yes, and I find that a lot of times when it comes to Bianca and Naomi, everybody has nothing but glowing reviews of them. They don't speak badly of them or in any ill will. They are very high on Bianca and Naomi, and I love that. So we're going to talk about these tiers. Now, if you've never seen or, heard of Ryan Satin's tiers, he basically made some tiers of wrestlers that he thought were at the top of the business and the best of the business. Now, let me see if I can post them in here, because I don't know if I still got them or not. So I'm going to see if I can pull them up, and then I will get them in here so y'all can see. Heard on, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right, y'all. So I'm just going to put this inside the video here so you guys can see the actual tiers. Goodness me. The mic off, Lord. See how I'm in here double? Had to come and be here on y'all right quick. Hold on a second, y'all. Let me put y'all comments up here so y'all can see. When you said tears, I thought about cake, child. That's the best. All right. So, did anyone watch the Yokozuna documentary? I remember he and Owen won the tag titles. Would be so cool if Natty and Tamina wins them for the women in the future. Family legacies. That's cool. Actually, I watched half of it. I didn't get to finish all of it, but it's a very good pay-per-view. It's a very good documentary. I really, really like it. Tips people said Bianca is overrated and didn't deserve it. Like, what are they talking about? She does deserve it. This is what Daniel Bryan meant when he said fans are fickle. Continue, like 1 minute they like a superstar, then the next they hate them. Like, make up your mind. Well, if that's the case, I posed the very same question that I posed when I said about Edge. If Bianca was not deserving of that spot in the Royal Rumble, she was not deserving of being the one to win, then who was? Who was deserving of that spot? Because Bianca most definitely she's one of the big stars now of the new people coming in. She's what's hot. So I'm confused as to who deserved her spot over her. Who should have been put in over her? That's what I want to know. That's the question I'm posing to everybody in the replay and to everybody that's still in here with me. Who deserved that spot over Bianca? Someone will always say someone is overrated. You are 100% right, Marlon. That is true. Nothing but actual factuals. So I pose that question. Who deserves the spot over Bianca if Bianca was not deserving? Marlon said Bianca Belair in all caps, honey. No one but Bianca deserves that. No one else. This is her moment. How is she overrated? Child, I don't know. Bianca Belair deserved to win the Royal Rumble. The fuck? Stop hating on her. Bianca Belair, Naomi would be a good shot. I'm not gonna knock that. That'd be cool. Okay. Nobody else? Nobody else deserved that shot? All right, so I got the pictures to upload. Nobody. If it ain't the fave, then it's an issue. That's everyday thing. Well, Kenny, you got that right. That is true. Step one to enjoying wrestling: don't listen to wrestling fans, and that's a word. Nobody else. Joey Tillman says Bianca deserved it, but I would have liked to see Victoria win or Naomi. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Victoria was there to win. Victoria was really retired and she came back to help fill out the Rumble as they usually do. So I was just glad she was there, to be honest with you. And I hope WWE puts her in the back to work in production. I truly do hope that they do that. Everyone else who others were saying has already been champ before or already had a big moment. That's true. So what? I completely agree. Next year is Naomi. Naomi is winning. Maybe. Nobody else but Bianca. I don't know. Victoria was there to have fun with her wedgie and all, child. We ain't gonna talk about Miss Vicky's wedgies. We not gonna do that. I saw your commentary on the Women's Royal Rumble, and your mother cracked me the fuck up about Victoria's. My mom's a character, and that's where I get it from. It's the best way to put it. The same people that complain about Bianca not being on TV on Raw a few months back are probably the same ones complaining. And that's a word, honey. That's motherfucking facts right there. All right, so Ryan Satin had his tears, okay? And in the tiers, Ryan Satin set up SmackDown to look like this. He said these were the top players. Bayley, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Sasha Banks, and Seth Rollins are in the A and A plus tier. He put the Street Profits, Rey Mysterio, and Kevin Owens in the B plus tier. Big E, Otis, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Bianca Belair were in the B tier. And then he put C plus, Dolph Ziggler, King Corbin, Murphy and Carmella. And the C tier, he put Cesaro, Shinsuke, Robert Roode, Dominic Mysterio, and Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. And then in the D tier, he put, let me take the banner down so y'all can see. In the D tier, he put Natalya, Billie Kay, Chad Gable, Aleister Black, Apollo Crews, Lars Sullivan. And in the F tier, he put Kalisto, Mickie James, and Mojo Rawley. So now we know for sure that Mickie James is on the SmackDown roster, as is Mojo Rawley, because at first we didn't know where Mickie James was because she was not drafted. But apparently she's on there. Also, you and your mom's talking about Naomi's gear was the highlight of my night. Y'all really like my mom. She's a hoot. Bianca is right next to the Profits, in my opinion. Well, I'm gonna tell you guys how we fix this. They should move Bianca up 3 spots or two spots more up. Well, as times have changed, this was done sometime last year. This was in the early right before Lars is a negative Z child. Not a negative Z. He said a negative Z, babe. He said a negative Z. Okay, listen. This tier list was done sometime in December. So totally understand that this was not meant to this was not going to be updated for right now in what's happening in the WWE in terms of the Rumble being over. So when we did our tier list, we changed things a bit. Now, the way that Ryan Satin set up his tiers was this. So let me go and find the article so I don't misappropriate nobody up in her. All right. So here's how this works. Ryan Satin tiers list is based off of this criteria, okay? So for the A tier, it's the biggest stars in the company. The B, the A plus tier are the biggest stars in the company. Oh, nah, Lars Sullivan and King Baldy can stay off the list entirely. Tiff, look, do they have anybody? What? What are you talking about? So here's the basic definition of each category and what it means. The A plus tier is the biggest stars in the company. The A tier are the main eventers. The B plus tier could be booked in main events. The B tier could be in mid-card title contention. The C plus tier is regularly appearing on TV. The C tier is appearing on sporadically on shows. The D tier is falling out of interest. And the F tier is chasing the 24/7 title. So that's Ryan Satin's tier. When you look at it, it's kind of fucked up how he put them in these categories. So when we did our tiers, we changed things around quite a bit. So instead of, okay, Tip, they don't have nobody. You talking about SmackDown? That's the roster. The SmackDown roster is small. They only have 2 hours. They don't need a whole bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? So we decided to make our own tiers at Down for the Count, okay? And at Down for the Count, our tier list is as follows. I'm going to put the banner back up for the Down for the Count show. Make sure you guys subscribe because we have the tiers episode is up right now. You can listen to it because we was fighting, honey, on this tiers episode. But when we did the SmackDown tiers list, here's how our lists look, okay? For SmackDown, we switched things around a lot, and we switched this around across the board for the entire list. So make sure you guys listen to me carefully. When it comes to the tiers, instead of making the B plus tier could be booked in main events, We flipped that and made that our mid-card title holders. Okay. Um, in the B tier, we flipped that to being could be booked in main events. We only did that because we felt like as a mid-card title holder, a title is something to be coveted and revered. We also moved some people around because we felt like in this instance they had some things wrong and off about the entire roster for SmackDown. So we kept Roman at the top with Sasha, but we put Bayley at the top. Bayley deserved to be up there. She held down the women's division for the entire year. She was champion for a year. Bayley deserved that. She earned that. So her being a plus star is 100% accurate. She earned that. Moving on to the A tier. I believe, let's go back to the SmackDown tier by Brian Satin. They had Kevin Owens in the B plus tier. As you can see, they had Bayley in the A tier. Kevin Owens is in the B plus tier, along with the Street Profits. On our tier, we moved the Street Profits up to the A tier, along with Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Bianca. Bianca deserved to be up there. She had a very good year and she's widely popular. So we moved her up to the A tier. In the B plus tier, we put Daniel Bryan and Big E. Daniel Bryan didn't really have much going on, but Daniel Bryan did pretty well this year. So we switched that around. We also, let me put some of y'all comments up. Now, this is a list. I totally agree with this list. The F tier, aka catering department. I like this one. I wish Cameron could come back and her and Naomi would have win titles. I don't really too much care for Cameron, but I'm not gonna shut you down for caring for her. Nah, don't mention Cameron. I agree. The WWE tier didn't even add Tamina. Exactly. Tamina should have been in there because Tamina is a part of the roster. So here we go. It was Ryan Satin more specifically. So blame Satin, don't blame WWE. So we switched things around. We put Apollo Crews and Sami Zayn and Carmella in the B tier. In the C plus tier, we put the Dirty Dogs. We put Riot Squad. We put Buddy Murphy and Billy Kay. Billy Kay has been quite entertaining. What time period this is based off? It's based off of 2020. Okay, it's based off of 2020. 82 wanted to know what time period this is based off of. It's based off of the year of 2020. It can't be based off of anything else. To be more specific, everybody was chosen for this list based off of the year they had in 2020. We couldn't go back any further because technically, if we're going to include all their accolades, this list would be very, very different. Okay. Bianca gained like 50K followers overnight. She's the next best thing. Well, yeah, good for Bianca. No, Natalya either, though. Did I miss Natalya? Oh, we didn't put Natalya up here. Girl. We sure omitted Natalya. Oh, baby. It'll be fixed before we post it. Don't worry about it. Um, we did omit Natalya, but Natalya's supposed to be here in the, I believe she was in the C tier. She's not up here. Woo, child. That's a whole mess. Anyway, I forgot about Natalya. Shit, forgot all about her. Anyway, we have Corbin at the C tier. We've got Rey Mysterio, Chad Gable, Cesaro, Shinsuke, and Otis. We moved Dominic down to the D, Kalisto, and the Forgotten Sons. They also are known as the Knights of the Round Table, and Tamina. And we put Cesaro in the F tier. The F tier is really more like it's not falling out of interest. It's like you don't need to be on TV. And you haven't been seen in forever. You popped up ever so slightly and you haven't been seen since. So one can only suspect that you're being dropped from television. It's okay. She hasn't really done anything of value anyway. Ooh, the shade, honey. Bayley faced the whole division for the SD title. I agree with her being in the A plus tier. And that was just our thing. We had to put her up there because she earned that slot. She earned that right to be up there. Otis should move up one. His year started out amazing, but went down after SummerSlam. The reason why I put Otis in the C tier is that even though Otis won Money in the Bank and he was popular, he was still sporadically seen on television. He wasn't seen every single week. And even with his storyline before things went to shit, like Otis still had a secondary storyline. I could necessarily move him up to the C plus tier, which he was seen on TV, but we all agreed that Otis being in the C tier was just fine. But I mean, if I had to move him, I'd move him up. And then I put Natalya. I still put Natalya in the D tier. So I'm gonna talk to Janae and see if she can fix it. By the way, Janae is the one who created the tiers for us. She did the graphics, she did everything. So shout out to Janae for everything that she did in terms of rectifying our graphics and making this thing look so dope. Because she really did an amazing job with them in this regard. It looks so good. So I would move him up. If I had to move him up, I would move him up to the C tier. Um, he's already in the C tier. I move him up to the C plus tier if I had to move him up. He's not gonna go any further than that. Um, yeah, so we were fighting over this, but we're gonna move on to the Raw tier. So the Raw tier for WWE is much bigger because there are more stars there. Okay, and for Ryan Satin, he had more people shaking things up here and doing things. Now, just to be clear, there are going to be some people missing from ours that have to be fixed. So just be mindful of that. And we're going to show you guys who we have on ours. I'm going to read these off so you know who's on Ryan's list, and then we can move on to the Down for the Count list. So Ryan put Drew, Randy, The Fiend, and Flair up in the A plus tier. In the A tier, he has AJ Styles, Bliss, and Asuka. For B plus, he put New Day, The Miz, Sheamus, and Lashley. In the B tier, he put Braun Strowman, John Morrison. Yes, I'm finna show you the Raw one in a second. Just give me 1 second. It looks really good. This is the Raw tier from Ryan Satin and them. Just so y'all know, this isn't ours, but I'm going to show you guys ours. IDKY, but the first name I saw was Lacey. Are you guys doing? Yes, we already did one. I'm finished showing you in just give me 1 second. So Nia and Shayna and Keith Lee make up the B tier. MVP, Cedric and Shelton, the Hurt Business, outside of Bobby Lashley, are in the C plus tier. Elias, Jeff Hardy, Lana, and Riddle are in the C plus. Retribution, Lacey Evans, Mandy Rose, and R-Truth are in the C tier. In the D tier are Dana Brooke, Drew Gulak, Nikki Cross, Ricochet, Peyton Royce, Andrade, and Angel Garza. And in the F tier is Tozawa, Dabakato, Eric, Lucha House Party, Humberto Carrillo, Titus O'Neil, and Tucker. So theirs was a little bit wonky for me too. So we decided to make our own. And here's how we changed things around in terms of the A plus and the A's and all that good stuff. All right. So for the A plus tier, we got Drew, Asuka, and Randy. We cut this list down significantly because we felt like even though Bray Wyatt had a decent year, and he was great, I didn't think that he should have been in the A plus tier. Arguments came out with Asuka. I mean, not with Asuka, but more specifically with Flair, because they didn't feel you'll hear about how we worked out Flair in the beginning and how we argued about some of these people in the podcast. I highly recommend you guys go over and listen to it. But we moved Charlotte down a notch into the A tier with Sheamus, Bray Wyatt, and AJ Styles with Omos. We also put Cedric and what's his face? Cedric and Shelton up there. They're the tag team champions, and they're in the B plus tier with New Day, Shayna and Nia, Bobby Lashley and MVP, and of course we have Little Miss Bliss on here. She's in the B plus tier. I know everybody probably will want her more in the A tier, but we put her in the B plus tier specifically because she operates in secondary storylines for me, and I felt like she hadn't wrestled in quite some time. Although earlier in the year she had a pretty strong showing, it started to taper off in terms of wrestling, and it was more so character development. So I felt that in terms of her wrestling and in regards to her being a big star, but dropping her down a bit gave her room to grow. And even if she does bigger, we can move her up in the on the tiers. All right, so let me get some of y'all comments in here since y'all might not be able to see everything that's happening. Did you do one for NXT? Yes, we did. That's coming in a second. Lacey should be moved down to the D and move Nikki. I agree with this. Oh shit, I had to squint and then turn on my brightness to see this list. This list was a little difficult for Janae to make because it was so many people, but it is a very dark it's a very dark list, so just be mindful of that. Oh, never mind. I see the raw tier now. Alexa would be A plus based on this year. I don't feel that she was the biggest star or one of the biggest stars of this year. I think that she does fine between the A and the B plus tier, and we just happened to put her in the B plus tier because it was room on that tier. She could have been in either tier, quite frankly. It wouldn't have mattered. Um, but I didn't think she was like a major like one of the top billing stars. I'm sure she gets bank. But for me, like I said, she was in secondary storylines, as was Charlotte. Charlotte wasn't in main storylines, but for her to be tethered to the women's champion and to come back the way that she did, they put her in the A plus, in the A tier instead of the A plus tier like she was. Charlotte wasn't there for the better part of the year, but Charlotte was there in the beginning. She was kind of there towards tapering off towards the end. The only thing with Alexa Bliss is that hers was more so character development, and we basing it off of the criteria that Ryan Satin set. We felt like Alexa could fluctuate between A and B plus, so we just slapped her in there at the B plus, and we'll move her up later if need be. Now moving down, y'all gonna have to squint a little bit to see. Keith Lee is in the B tier with the Miz, Dana and Mandy, and R-Truth. Listen, I didn't want R-Truth in the B tier. That was not my gag. I felt like he should have been in the C plus C tier at best. If you want to go and check out our podcast to hear why he's there, you most definitely can, because that caused arguments between us. In the C tier, we've got Jeff Hardy, Ricochet, I believe, because I can't even see that, honey. Let me pull it up on my phone. Because, child, I cannot see that. I got to squint too, Kenny. So Damian Priest is on Raw now. Yes, he's a Raw wrestler. I like this tier. I like Lana being moved up. I said that too, but they said no. So let me just turn this phone so I can zoom in for y'all right quick. Okay. So it's Jeff Hardy, Morrison, Mustafa Ali, Lana, Riddle, and Ricochet, as I said before, in this C plus tier. In the C tier, we've got Elias, Nikki Cross, Reckoning, Drew Gulak, and Angel Garza. Let me move this comment. In the D tier, we have Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, Humberto Carrillo, Retribution, Titus O'Neil, Tucker, Lucha House Party, and Akira Tozawa. And in the F tier, we have Jackson Riker. So that's everybody on the show. There were people who were inactive while this list was being made, while this tier was being made. Naomi was inactive at the time. Braun Strowman was inactive at the time. The Viking Raiders were inactive, are inactive. Dabakoto is inactive, and Riddick Moss was also inactive. So we did not include them, even though they are a part of the roster. Okay, so Let's see y'all comments. I most definitely would have put Truth in any of the C tiers. That's what I said, but apparently I was outnumbered, so I had to go with the majority. I'm just hoping they don't leave Keith Lee out of the main event matches now, and he doesn't get lost in the shuffle because he's really talented. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that'll happen at all. I think Keith Lee was supposed to be in the Rumble, and that's the way it was supposed to be. Quite frankly, Keith Lee could have probably won the Rumble, but of course, him having come in contact with COVID so quickly, it made them, want to protect the brand and protect the superstars, which I think they did the right thing. So I think Keith Lee will have his chance when his time comes. It just wasn't his time right now. All right, so we're going to move into the final tier, which is NXT. Now, Ryan Satin did not make an NXT tier, but we did, okay? So this is our NXT tier, okay? And she's a big one. NXT has a lot of superstars, and they just added some more that we could not fit on the list, okay? Because it was very, very difficult to hold on a second. It was very, very difficult to do this tier list because it was so many people we had to fit on here. But let's start with the A tier. So we have Adam Cole, Io Shirai, Karrion Kross with Scarlett, and Finn Balor. They are your top billing stars. Moving down to the A tier, we have Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Oni and Burch, Rhea Ripley, Imperium, and Undisputed Era. Okay, you see the roster? I'm going to sleep when you go live again. I'll go live again Wednesday. Yes, fellow Lancaster person. All right. Damn, that's a stacked roster. Have a good night. All right, so we've got, if you miss anything, you can always watch it in the replay, folks. So in the B plus tier, at the time, Damian Priest was on the roster for NXT, so that's how we left it. Because he is no longer on that roster, when we make a new tier list, we will change it, okay? She said, I only said baby in my head this time. You can't help but say baby after somebody say Adam Cole. This is both UK and US. Oh, no, this is just the US. This is just the NXT for the US, okay? So I would move Adam Cole down. I disagree. Adam Cole had a wonderful year in 2020, and he most definitely deserves to be in the A tier. He's one of the biggest stars in NXT, and it's going to be a fight to the death to see where he goes if he leaves and goes to the main roster. Any roster who gains Adam Cole is most definitely getting one of the best in the damn industry. Adam Cole deserves to be in the A plus tier, and that's where he is. So, moving into the B plus roster, we've got Damian Priest, Santos Escobar, Mercedes Martinez, Dexter Lumis, Raquel Gonzalez, Shotzi Blackheart, and the Grizzled Young Veterans. Moving into the B tier, we got Breezango and Dakota Kai. In the C plus tier, we have Tommaso Ciampa, Tony Nese, Tony Storm, Xia Li, and Bronson Reed. Okay. Cole's had an amazing run in NXT, period, and I don't even watch NXT. Yes, Cole is one of the best. And then in the C tier was the biggest. So we have Roderick Strong, Austin Theory, Boa, Cameron Grimes, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Tony Atlas, Pat McAfee, Ember Moon, Indy Hartwell, Tyler Rust, Velveteen Dream, Casey and Caden, Legado del Fantasma, and Dane and Maverick. In the D tier, we have Aaliyah with Robert Stone and Ashanti the Adonis. And in the inactive tier, we have Tegan Knox, Karen Q, and Ridge Holland. Those are all of the people that are injured. And right now, this is our NXT tier list. Out of all of the tiers that Janae made, this one most definitely is my favorite. It's the closest thing to the NXT brand, and it just looks so cool. I love it. So it's my favorite. I love it. And she did an amazing job on all three of these tiers. I really, really, really love the tiers. So what do you guys think about the tiers? I have an issue with some of them, but we fought over some of these tiers extensively, and honestly, it was hard work, but we did a pretty decent job with the tiers. If you want to hear more about how our tiers went down and how we came to this idea of the tiers, and please go listen to us on our podcast. That episode is up right now. You can listen to it on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast. You can most definitely can listen to it. Okay. Why did you put that trash bag in the C tier? Okay, you're gonna have to be more specific. I'm assuming you're referring to Velveteen Dream or Austin Theory. The reality is Velveteen Dream was there for all of 2020. He pretty much wrestled for most of the year and he had major feuds. He was seen on television and he is one of the stars of NXT outside of his personal aspect. So we had to be unbiased because he is still there and he is still putting on matches. He's still participating. He's still a part of the show. So we had to be unbiased and put him on there. But if you look very closely at the list when I posted on the Down for the Count Instagram as well as my personal Instagram, you will see that we put a little asterisk on Velveteen as well as some of the others that we don't really care for on some personal level. We had to assess him based off of his career and not his personal life. That's what we had to do. And it was only fair. Um, why would Jake Atlas be renamed Tony Atlas? Tony Atlas and Jake Atlas are two different people. They're two different people. They're two different people. Why can't I hear Dakota's theme music? I don't know because I don't listen to Dakota's. It's so great that Carlito is officially signed to WWE in his own Raw. Yeah, it's awesome. I love Carlito. I'm glad that he's back. Peppermint Patty, I'm sorry. I just explained why we had to separate the art from the artist. It's pretty much. Just to be clear, nobody is abdicating for Velveteen Dream, but he is a part of the roster, and he was someone who was prominent on the roster and still is, quite frankly, as is Austin Theory. He had a pretty much a solid year as well, and if it hadn't been for the situations that he had going on, I don't think Austin Theory would be a problem in terms of him being on the list either. If you look at him outside of what's going on with his personal life, including Velveteen, they are stars. They do deserve to be on the list, and we have to assess them because WWE isn't pulling them anytime soon. So it is what it is. Regardless of how I feel about Dream, I don't like Bobby Lashley, but his thick ass was on my list, so nobody questioned. And I'm not comparing Lashley to Velveteen Dream's disgusting nature, but I'm just saying somebody I don't personally care for, I still assess them by what they do and what they've done and what they've accomplished, and that's just only fair. So that's it. Do you think that Sasha and Ember are going to win the Dusty Women's Classic? No. No, I do not. I think Casey and Kaden are going to win that classic. They might be the last two women in the fight against Casey and Kaden, but I think at the end of the day, Casey and Kaden are going to win. Any more questions? If not, I will leave you to it. Yes? Make sure you guys go check out the podcast for sure so you guys can hear about all of the struggle of getting these tiers together. But I was too excited and I had to show you guys the tiers because they took so much time and it was so worth the wait. But if y'all ain't got no more questions for me and no more comments for me, then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna wait and see what y'all got to show me or what y'all got to talk to me about. Casey and Kaden got to get past Raquel and Dakota. I think they will, honestly. If Raquel and Dakota win, I mean, I'd be shocked, I guess, but I don't really care for Raquel and Dakota as a team, and right now, I think it'd be best for them to not have the titles and to have Raquel go her own way and let Dakota do her own thing. You know, who do you think Io is going to drop her title to? I honestly don't know. Personally, I would have her hold on to that title and let her drop it to Xia Li. I would let Mercedes go up against her. She's going to pose a decent threat. But I would have her keep it and then let Xia Li build up her momentum to be the one to take it off of Io. I think that's a nice little swerve to have Io drop it to Xia Li. And then if Io decides to retire or go to the main roster, you can go ahead and you can watch Xia Li's rise in NXT. I will drop it to Xia Li, and I would drop it probably later on this year after Xia has some pretty good feuds with a lot of the faces and really builds herself up. Yes, I would have her drop it to Xia Li. I know it sounds weird, but I just would. All right, so that's all y'all got for me. That's all I got. I ain't got no more. So I'm going to go. I will be back live Wednesday. I'll go live Wednesday after NXT and AEW. I'm going to try to watch both shows. God. I'm going to try to watch both shows and talk about both of them. And I will see you guys then. Let me answer this last question. What happened to Tegan Nox? Tegan Nox is injured. She's still recovering from her injury. Who do you think Big E is dropping his title to? I honestly don't know. He has plenty of suitors. I mean, he still has Apollo Crews to go up against. They still have what's his face? Sami Zayn going after it. You could very easily drop it to Shinsuke again, or I would keep Shinsuke away from it, honestly. You could drop it to Cesaro if you wanted to. There's a lot of ways you can go with this, but Big E has a lot of suitors and he's very open to wrestling anybody, so he could drop it to anybody. All right. I will see you guys Wednesday when we talk about NXT and we talk about AEW. Hopefully, I'll watch both shows and we can talk about them. Other than that, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.